Yeah. Matt, anything happened good today? Bad today?
Where do I begin?
I should have said bad.
Yeah.
First.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I made cheesecake for the kids in school I teach, and it came out really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's my new thing. I bake now,
Okay.
but I can't eat the things I bake.
I have a lot of questions.
It's my new thing. It's my new hobby.
I'll tell you ate a lot Sunday, though.
Oh, Sunday was a dark day.
Samson Sweets.
Sunday was dark.
Sweets by Samson.
But no, I'm baking. It's my new thing. I bake. I baked a kid cheesecake. I got a picture.
So
very
can
good
I ask you a question? Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Right. But I'm
I
asking, like, okay, listen. If this was like, I don't know, when I was a little kid, right?
Yeah.
Like, my mom's a baker. She bakes.
Oh, me too.
It's crazy.
I'm a baker too now.
Dude, gee, this woman's insane. Anyway, she would bake like cookies and like crazy stuff, and just send me to school with Tupperwares full of stuff for the class. Now I feel like you can't do that anymore because of the allergies and all the other shit, and like people sticking like.
Just don't tell anyone.
That's what I'm saying. Like as a teacher, are you allowed to do that or no? Or do you not give a shit?
I'm not too worried about. Well, here's the way I look at it.
Everybody deserves a sweet.
Yeah, everyone deserves a sweet. I like seeing they get happy when I bring the cheesecake. Worst case scenario, I get fired, then I don't have to go to work the next morning.
Oh my God!
I mean, as long as you don't talk about it on a public podcast on YouTube, you're fine, right?
No, I don't care. It was good cheesecake. Everyone liked it. So.
Welcome back to the Movie Mob Podcast, episode 20, the big 2-0. Who would have thought? Look at us in this room, huh? We got Matt over on my left, Sam on my right, and Nick in the middle. The Archangel Michael, as we called you last week. We got a spicy topic set up today. What?
No, nothing.
Say it.
No, I was just gonna say, like, you got Nick in the middle. You got me on top.
Yep.
Sam's on the bottom.
Easy.
Making a sandwich.
What about me?
After the Henry Cavill TikTok.
I prefer to go on top.
Oh, boy. Well, oh, my God.
We're off to
It's getting hot in here. Let's hit the movie news. Here we go. First topic of the day. Damon Lindelof. You may know him from creating the Watchmen TV series on
I know him.
HBO, and he also co-created Lost with J.J. Abrams.
You like that graphic that I made? You like
that? Is very nice.
Good
spicy.
Good time. Let me tell you, he's making a Star Wars movie, supposedly. It was announced the other day, and it's supposed to take place after The Rise of Skywalker, years after The Rise of Skywalker, and they're saying it's a standalone film, but it could lead to sequels. They've had some meetings, I guess, about this for about a year now. I can guess all our opinions on this. I'm not excited. Do I even think this will be made? Probably not. I feel like this will fall into line with all the other announced and then canceled Star Wars projects. And along with this, a report came out that Disney executives actually said to Kathleen Kennedy, stop announcing Star Wars projects in development, because she announces them, they never happen. Rian Johnson's trilogy, D&D, it's just countless. Matt, what do you think of this?
I mean, enough's enough.
Yep.
I mean, stop the fight. I said it last time. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. I fixed it from the last time I said it. No, he's good. He's a good.
Yeah.
Watchmen's excellent. When the early seasons of Lost are excellent. And he was forced to make those later seasons by CBS. Like he's talked about how he wanted to like it to be one season. Do we need probably the last thing we need right now is more Star Wars content? I think even Star Wars fans are like sick of it enough. I just think you do it enough. No one's interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if it is a good show, like Andor, for example, it's getting good reviews. I've watched it. It's actually really good. But I mean, no one gives a shit.
The ratings are down.
Enough's enough.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I agree with what you said. I doubt it'll happen. And if it does, I think it'll be more of the same. Even if it's good, I don't know if it's really going to engage the people's interest.
Sam?
Well, I feel like just going into it just based on the recency with all these Star Wars films, those 3 movies themselves, they didn't do very well. They didn't receive the proper praise like the other movies have.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, you got 2 good people that would direct this film, like, because it's rumored that he would bring on Charmaine, who helped out with Miss Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Who was getting a lot of praise for her work on that show. So I feel like I'd have to see a trailer,
of course,
before I would make like my first take on this movie if they were to go through with this. But as of right now, you know, I'm open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be interested to see what they could come up with.
Yep. Here's where they lost me. Right when it said set after The Rise of Skywalker, they lost me. That movie is a disgrace to every Star Wars fan in existence. But here's the thing, you know, it's a double-edged sword because, you know, we all don't like the sequel trilogy. No. But you can't deny the fact that, you know, kids growing up who have seen them will probably like them, kind of like we did with the prequels.
That's true.
So you can't, I guess from Disney's perspective, you can't wipe out that viewership. Obviously, the kids are important. You know, that's what George said with the first films. But yeah. I think the first 3 movies are a perfect example of there being a balance. You know, you had kids who saw that movie in 77 who loved it, and you had adults who saw that movie and loved it. A lot of it had to do with the technology at the time, but I think there's a way to do it where you can please both sides, and they're just not doing it.
Yeah, RJ. I mean, I'm very selfish, so I fuck the kids.
Yeah.
You know? For me, it ended after Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
You did what?
No.
Ah, jeez.
No,
sorry. Go ahead.
No. I meant, like, I don't, I'm,
I think cheesecake makes everything better.
No,
right?
Cheesecake's great. Cheesecake does mend everything. Yeah, it's good. No, but, I don't know. Enough's enough. I've had enough.
Yeah, I agree. Anyone else? Nick, you want to chime in on this?
I hate everything except the first 6.
Yeah.
It should end.
Yeah, that's fair.
it. I think that there is something, this is going to sound kind of corny and very film person-y, but I think there is something magical.
No, there is.
About leaving certain aspects of stories up to interpretation. Like when they end a zombie movie and they killed all the zombies and then they zoom in on a gravestone and a hand comes out of the ground and then it goes to credits. What happens next? And then they never make the movie ever again. Some questions don't need to be answered, is all I'm saying. Because that's what makes it fun. That's what makes people go and write fan fictions and lore and make their own comic books and inspires the new generation of creative people. Or you could be like Disney and beat the ever-loving piss out of every subject you ever get the rights to. And it's really, really frustrating.
And while you're doing that, not bring in the right people and not develop the projects to a point where you should be announcing them.
I think Walt would be disgraced if I'm 100% honest. Well, he'd be so aggravated.
But think about it. Obviously, we all agree that we don't really need more Star Wars movies. But if you're a Disney executive, a Star Wars movie hasn't come out since 2019. One isn't even shooting yet. It's kind of like Superman with DC. You have Star Wars as Disney. How are you not making a movie? How are you not getting the right people in the room to do this? You know, it's just, it's crazy.
That would be the conversation I'd be having if I was the Disney CEO.
Yeah.
I'd be pulling people in going, what is wrong with us?
And
who needs to be fired? That's what I'd be saying.
No.
Kathleen Kennedy, one of the best producers of all time, without a doubt, but she's on the business side of things, and they've been needing a creative person from the outset. And they got Dave Filoni right there, but they don't seem to want to do it.
You know what would be super cool? They used to do this kind of stuff back in the day. Like when my dad used to tell me that. But like, imagine if they said, we're opening it up to all Star Wars fans. You got to register or whatever to be a Star Wars fan and send in your script. You know what I mean? How cool would that be if they just gave like all the fans of the, I don't know, U.S. or whatever it is, and you had to send in a Star Wars script? You know what I mean?
You'd get a lot of good ones.
I'm sure. But I'm sure you'd get a lot of shit,
if I was a big director in Hollywood right now and they came to me and said, "Do you want to make a Star Wars movie?" I'd probably say no.
Because I would say no.
You know, whatever you do, you're going to get ridiculed.
Right, and it's such a personal thing to me that I don't think there's anything more to do. You've already done a sequel trilogy and you flopped. It's just, you know, there's very few avenues they can go now. But, yeah, I don't know. On to the next one here. Big news, big surprising news out of DC Warner Brothers yesterday. So obviously there's new leadership in Warner Brothers and the DC mantle, they've been looking to fill it, and they just filled it with James Gunn, obviously the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, the Suicide Squad, and who is it? Peter Safran?
Yeah, is it Safran? Safran?
I think
San Francisco?
Either way, James Gunn's the big name here. So Safran, he produced the Suicide Squad with Gunn.
Safran's like an executive, dude.
Yeah, he's going to be obviously the business logistical thing, and then James Gunn's going to be the creative.
Right.
But this is huge news. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of shakeups with Warner Brothers recently, and to me, this is another win from DC. Bringing Cavill back, bringing James Gunn in, these are wins.
I think this is a huge win for DC, bringing in James Gunn. Everything he's touched in the superhero genre since the first Guardians movie has been a hit. Mm-hmm. Everything he's done, DC and Marvel. Peacemaker was a fantastic show. The Suicide Squad movie was amazing. And James Gunn, he won't rush projects. I mean, how long ago was Guardians 2? And between he really cares about the creative side of it, the story, because it's like he's talked about how Guardians it's his baby. Mm-hmm. He wants to do it justice. Yep. So I think from a creative point of view, it's very good for the fans because James Gunn really cares about what he's putting out there.
Yeah. Sam, you excited about this?
Absolutely. This is very big for all the DC fans out there. They got their guy, I'd say. They're making the right moves. They brought on Gunn. They're bringing back Cavill. I can't get his fucking name right. It's pissing me off. But anyways.
I missed the Cavill.
I do have an excerpt that I'll read to you.
Okay. Let me hear it.
This is from
it's like we're unsure.
Fast Company. It was an article about James Gunn.
And
it was just kind of describing his success he had with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right on.
So he said, you have to find an actor's center, find where you can help them achieve their potential and the character's potential. Because at the end of the day, when you're creating a movie, it's all about the character development. If you're able to get the audience to fall in love with the characters, then they'll feel what they're going through during certain points of the movie.
Tell it to Amazon.
It's that simple. Yeah. So you've seen it with Guardians of the Galaxy. That's why those movies are so successful.
Yeah, that is true.
Because you love the characters. And he's found the right people for those roles, and look where it's gotten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the other thing, too, like Kevin Feige with Marvel, James Gunn is a fan of the comic books, and he's passionate about it. Like we were just saying with Kathleen Kennedy, when you have a Peter Safran there who's more in the business, and then you put the creative thing, they mesh together, and they equal a powerful force here, I think, for DC, and I think I'm excited.
I mean, I don't want to overreact, but that combination, they put the Suicide Squad movie out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the best superhero
Peacemaker.
movies I've seen in a long time. Mm-hmm. And like you said, Sam, all the actors that work with James Gunn really, like when those allegations came against him, they all came out and defended him. Mm-hmm. So the people who work for Gunn really like him, and I think it's a trickle down effect.
Yeah, and in his after Guardians 3, he's done with Marvel. He's exclusive to DC for the contract's for 4 years. Who knows where it'll go after that? But again, so now you have him running the DCEU, those films, and then you have Matt Reeves just in total control of the Batman universe. And there was also an announcement that the Arkham Asylum spin-off series is also moving forward. They got a director for that too. So there's a lot of positives here for DC, and I'm excited. Finally it's in good hands, I think.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Nick, you got any thoughts on that, James Gunn?
None whatsoever.
I saw a tweet though saying that now that James Gunn's here, they should make the Batman and Scooby-Doo live action movie because he did the original Scooby-Doo's.
That's right.
Come on,
big fan of those
it happen.
movies.
Big original Scooby-Doo's. From
the live action ones. Yeah.
Oh, with
the original, the very first one wasn't bad.
With Linda Cardellini, as Velma, she is fantastic.
Yeah,
imagine that, and Henry Cavill is Freddy.
How you doing? No, I like
Freddie
Prinze Jr.
Yeah, Freddie Prinze.
I like him. Kanan. But anyway, speaking of James Gunn, first discussion topic: Guardians of the Galaxy trailer for the holiday special. A little, I think, an homage to the Star Wars holiday special that came out way back when. It's gonna be, I think, it's gonna be just like an hour-long special on Disney Plus. Fun trailer. James Gunn's doing it. Obviously, it's going to be one of his final things there. I mean, I'm in. It looks like a fun time. Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
I mean, can you complain?
No, this is a nice appetizer, you know, before the entree. You know, maybe some scallops wrapped in bacon, Sam. We all know Sam loves scallops. No, but it was a nice, cute little trailer. I think the Guardians lend to kind of a holiday special.
Yep.
It's kind of that fun kind of, free going, energy they bring.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be a nice time, nothing too serious, and it'll get us excited for the movie. Because it has been a while since we've seen the Guardians in their own movie.
And they've been setting up the Kevin Bacon joke for 3 movies
so
now,
it's cool.
so it's funny
cool they
now.
got him.
What do you think, Sam?
I actually didn't watch the trailer.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
We sent it to you.
Did you?
RJ did.
I think so.
I was in the
that
group
earlier today?
No, it was the other day. But what do you think?
well-
I mean, just the idea of a Guardians holiday special.
I mean, I like the idea. I'm going to support it, you know what I mean? Because it is the Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, everyone's a big fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy because the characters, like we were saying earlier. It's just something to give you a little bit of a taste, like Matt said, before the big event, the finale of the series. And, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Nick, you excited for that?
Sure.
They're abducting Kevin Bacon.
I can't
Come
wait.
on.
Oh, boy. I'm losing sleep.
The Baconator. Anyway, another Marvel topic. So another trailer that dropped this week. We had a lot of trailers drop this week. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, the 3rd movie in the Ant-Man series. Who would have thought that Ant-Man would get 3 movies?
No one.
I think we all agreed the second Ant-Man was not as good as the first one, but it had its moments. But
they should have named this one Ant-Man versus the Wasp. Size doesn't matter. That's what they should have named it.
But this, obviously, the big part about this is we got Kang the Conqueror. Jonathan Majors is making his debut. Obviously, we saw him in the Loki, but now he's the big Kang. And definitely a different tone with this trailer. A lot darker. I'm pumped to see Jonathan Majors in this role, but I will say that it's just another Marvel movie that's like we've seen this before.
Oh, I don't give a shit at all.
Yep.
I forgot. I'm not going to even lie to you, dude. I forgot about Ant-Man until you sent this to me. And I'm not going to lie. After we talk about this, I won't think about this again until you text me and say, hey, Matt, like Ant-Man's coming out Friday. You want to go see it? And I think about it. I go $15. And I also think about, well, I literally have nothing else to do. I'll come.
You'll go.
So will it be fine? I'm sure it'll be a nice 73, 74% on Rotten Tomato. I'm sure when I go, I'll see the movie, and I'll say, that was mildly entertaining. And I'm sure I'll wake up the next morning and never think about it again.
Right.
So that's what I think about that movie.
Sam, you excited at all for this?
I mean, I'm not really excited, but, I'm not, disappointed either.
Okay.
I would say this is the type of movie like a Doctor Strange 2, where maybe you want to smoke something before you go see it. And then you'll have a good time and you'll get very excited.
Yeah, you got little people, big people.
Yeah, you got all the colors. You got
people, big
fucking
world.
shape-shifting shit going on. I mean, because Ant-Man, he's not really one of my favorite characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I get the idea of why they're trying to bring this into the circle because the whole Kang thing with Loki, trying to get a better idea of what his plan is going forward.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not really a big fan. It's going to be the movie that I go see it anyways because we go see these movies all the time when they come out because we got nothing better to do, like Matt said.
Yeah, you're doing.
But, I'm not excited, but I'll definitely go watch, and I'm sure, I'll be like, okay, that wasn't too bad.
Dude, if we're going to smoke before one movie, we got to smoke before Mario. Dude, imagine going to Mushroom Kingdom.
Shrooms and shrooms.
I mean,
man.
listen, I'm just saying.
But I mean, I agree with all your thoughts on this. I mean, I love Paul Rudd though, so I'm always going to show up for a Paul Rudd movie.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's great.
It's just funny though because this is another. You've seen the laziness, I think, of the Marvel writing now, and it's literally No Way Home.
Cookie cutter.
Someone screws up something, it goes wrong, and then now it's sucked into this multiversal thing.
Well, they've been doing this. I mean, 08, dude. It's superhero fatigue, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be a fine movie. It's a really good cast, and I'm sure it'll be entertaining. But just
you can't settle for fine anymore, though.
Yeah, man.
You know what's funny? The other day, I watched Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
It is, to this day,
that's a great
one of, if not the best superhero movie of all time.
Of course.
I agree.
2 is better, though.
And I there's something about watching him take that picture of MJ and get bitten on the hand and go through that whole process. It's so cool. And then at the end of it, I go, thanks, Spider-Man. You're really out there saving the world. And I don't think about Spider-Man I don't go, oh, I need another Spider-Man movie. That's the Spider-Man movie. So, like, I agree. There's a lot of superhero fatigue, and none of them are the same as Watchmen was pretty good. Watchmen. Did you see Watchmen?
The movie?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
Have you read the graphic novel?
No.
Oh, I had to for school.
I saw the
show.
The show was really
excellent.
good. I need to watch the movie.
The show was good too, but like, I don't know. And then The Boys kind of just stomps on everything superhero to me. There's nothing like it. There's nothing.
Billy.
Yeah.
Nothing. But no, whatever.
I mean, it was bound to happen eventually.
But let me just say one more thing before we move on. The oversaturation, like you guys were saying, is just kind of getting tired at this point. But then also, I feel like with the new stuff that's coming out, they just keep finding a way to make this stuff political. And I'm hoping they don't include anything like that in this, because I will walk out the theater.
I mean, that's what happens when you got a company like Disney there. They're trying to juggle all these things, all these people, and these ideas, and unfortunately, you see it come out.
I mean,
like
just
that.
look at She-Hulk. Nobody's fucking watching that show.
Yeah.
I fucking decline to watch it. I'd rather fucking get 2 steaks, drill them through my fucking eyeballs than watch that fucking show.
Wow.
But I mean, realistically, you have no opinion one way or the other.
Yeah. I mean, I could care less about this movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those I'll go see, but I'm not excited for it.
Wow.
Moving away from superheroes.
All Quiet on the Western Front. You guys heard of the movie? It's an old one.
No, I don't know.
40s maybe, but it's
it's
a classic book. It's regarded as like the best war novel ever. But what's interesting about it is it's a story from the German perspective of World War I, which is interesting because you don't see a lot of movies covering that perspective. But they're remaking it on Netflix. It comes out Friday.
Oh, I'm so pumped.
I'm really pumped.
You mean today?
It comes out today?
Friday.
Oh, yeah. The episode's dropping on Friday, but it is Friday when you're watching it. A lot of time. The multiverse. Anyway, I think this looks really good. I like how it's in German. You know what I'm saying? I hate when they make it, English and stuff. Yeah. I'm really excited. I've never seen the original, but it's got great reviews so far from the early
I'm
screenings.
pretty sure the original's on HBO.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I think
I'll watch this. If I like this, maybe I'll watch
See,
the
I'm
original.
the kind of, I'd watch the original and then I'd watch this.
Yeah.
But I'm pumped for this.
Yeah. Did you guys watch the trailer at all?
I haven't seen the trailer, but I'll just say there's nothing like a good war movie.
Yeah.
Because there's certain things you watch it when it's like realism and you're like, this happened. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like hits hard. You go, wow, like people went through this and like it's a good story. So I literally didn't know this was happening, but like I'm like kind of excited. Like I'll watch it, dude. Like
especially if it's on Netflix. Let's be honest. I'll just sit right on the couch.
Yeah, no.
I'll watch it.
And I mean, World War I's it's a nasty war.
Yeah, I mean 1917. That's one of the best. I love that movie. Mm-hmm. Love that movie.
Yeah.
So if it's anything like that,
it's kind of reminiscent. Not to go too historical here, but it is almost on the war front of things and medical technology. War and medical technology is very similar to where we're at right now with current technology. So like how they say that like kids today like they don't talk, they don't know how to talk to people because they're always in the phone, stuff like that. This was a time where the like guns and everything and all that stuff was at a point where you get shot in the arm and like die from sepsis later, right? But the medical technology was not up to date. So like it's a weird time period where they have like really like high quality for the time, high quality machinery that they're using and not a lot of good medical stuff. Plastic surgery was invented because of World War I and the disfigurements that people were facing. Wow. Dude, it's a crazy war.
I mean, this is really the last, I would say the last war that turned into the modern age of warfare, where like this was still barbaric, like people lining up on one side, going at it. You had the trench warfare, rats crawling around. You had chemical warfare was introduced. You had planes. Like this was the transition into what would be World War II. It's just crazy. What do you think, Sam?
So I saw the trailer that you sent me earlier. It's in German. Yep. The actors are speaking German, obviously. And I got to say, it's very fascinating to see the other side of the story.
Yeah.
Because, like, all we know is mostly our perspective, like our guys going over there and fighting the war. But we don't have their side to the story. So I thought it was pretty cool to see like how they were reacting to what was going on at the time. Like the one scene of the kid that looks like he doesn't want to be there at all in the trenches. Yeah. And then all of a sudden the missile comes overhead and just fucking lands a couple 100 yards from him. And he's just kind of like startled. He's like, oh shit, this is like real, like pinch me. Yeah. That scene really hit home. And then I'm also looking forward to Daniel Bruhl's performance.
Yes, yeah, I like
because
him.
He's one of my favorite actors. He's in one of my favorite shows of all time, The Alienist. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's on TNT.
You have talked about The Alienist before.
Very good show. He's a great actor. He really, really sells you on the role that he's playing. So I feel like if he has a big role in this film, he's definitely going to have a great performance.
Yeah. I mean, I think we get caught up a lot when it just being in America and like learning about these wars, you get caught up as like, okay, that other side is just pure evil. And obviously, well, this is in World War II, but obviously you're fighting against a huge evil. But at the end of the day, most of those soldiers there were like kind of like us if we were to be drafted into a thing. In like Vietnam, there were a lot of people who disagreed.
Dude, we're seeing it right now with the Russians. A lot of those Russian soldiers who do not want to have anything to do with Ukraine. Russia recently, I'm not trying to get too political here, I'm just saying Russia recently implemented a draft of and there's different tier levels. So if you're like under 35, you're automatically enlisted. Right. Automatically. Any man, automatically enlisted. If you're 35 to 50, you have another like, I don't know, you have to get a medical checkup or whatever, but it's like ridiculous over there. And a lot of people are like, I kind of just want to live my life. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't really want to fight the Ukraine, but, you know, they don't want to die in jail either because it's like life imprisonment without the possibility of parole if you're a defector. It's really scary stuff. Really, really scary stuff. People are trying to escape to the U.S. and, you know, it's just sad. It's really
just
sad
history
stuff.
Repeating itself
over and over and over.
And I mean, what I think is so great about this,
I blame the parents.
Yeah. What's so great about this story, I think, is that it's you know, you remove the aspect of it being German or whatever. It's just about a kid getting thrusted into this worldwide conflict that's just brutal. So
why can't we all just get along? You know?
Yeah. I mean, war has existed forever, unfortunately.
Speaking of wars,
Star Wars. No, we're about to get a big war in about 5 years when the next season of this show comes out.
I'm going to kill myself over this. I hate it so much.
House of the Dragon.
Oh, my God.
I mean, here we are at the end.
Here we are.
We saw the finale on Sunday. 10 episodes, the traditional Game of Thrones style. I mean, let's get after it. Matt, what'd you think of this finale?
I thought it was a good finale.
Okay.
I will say it did leave a little to be desired. I don't know if that so much is how it was or like my expectations. I will say like having like a huge war like in one episode, you know what I mean, starting at a finale. I don't know how that would have worked out. I liked it. I mean, I think every episode has been good, but they ended it just on the cliff. You know what I mean? Like they gave us such blue balls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like you just saw
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's been a lot of blue balls. You know. But just how they like ended the episode, like with the kid dying, and Aemon's like, "Oh fuck," and then Rhaenyra finds out in her face. Like I'm just ready to like binge the entire show. I'm like, give me the fucking war. But overall, I mean, great season of television, good finale. I wouldn't call it great. I'd say good, but no, dude, it's gonna be a hard 2 years to wait for this.
Sam,
so I'll give you my overall thoughts on the episode and then the season. So overall, I would say I love this show. You know, definitely past the time I was looking forward to this show week in, week out, and just coming here talking about it. And now that it's over, like it hasn't really like hit me yet that we got to wait like 2 years at least, minimum, till the next season comes out, which sucks because I'm used to just binging it. Like, especially with Game of Thrones itself, I binged it.
Dude, you watched it in like 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
On your phone.
On my fucking iPhone, turned sideways.
I remember that.
I didn't even watch it.
Not straight up and down. You hear him sideways.
Fucking sideways, everyone.
I remember
just
that.
like this. I didn't watch it on the big screen. Only season 8, which, fuck me, season 8.
Yeah, man.
But
it's the wrong one.
Yeah, we watched that one together.
Anyways, this final episode, like Matt was saying, you know, kind of left you hanging a little bit, gave you a little bit of the blue balls, you know, your significant others going down on you, and all of a sudden, you know, you're about to
what an episode.
About to finish, and just leave.
And then they get a phone
hanging.
call. I'm on my way home, Mom.
Yep. abruptly just stops, and then you just fucking left there. You're like, what the fuck? What am I going to do? That's what the show does. But, overall, this episode was great. A lot of great character development, I'd say, overall. I got a couple of good pieces that I want to add later, but I'll let other people talk, RJ and Nick.
Wow. I got to recover from that.
It's been a very sexual podcast.
Yeah. When is it not, No, Nick, you want to give your thoughts?
Yeah, I have. So the pictures.
Or do you want me to go if you're going to rant, Well, you like to go. I leave you to last because you like to go.
I do like to go off, and I also set up these slides. Like I have each one as a separate picture because I kind of want to go through the whole episode.
Yeah.
I'm
down to do that.
Go ahead, go.
I'll keep it quick. I agree with all you guys. I think, to your point, Matt, I love this episode. I thought it was a good finale, but I will say that last scene felt like the ending of an episode 9. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It didn't feel like the ending of an episode 10.
It's like come back next week.
Because in Thrones, usually that would be 9, and then 10 would be the aftermath. Mm-hmm. But like you said, though, it's tough because, like, what would be the next episode? They're just going to start the war, because I don't know the story. I haven't read the book, so I don't know what happens next immediately. But it didn't aggravate me. I think it was a good finale, and I think that these last 2 episodes showing each side, I did like it. And I think when we come to the war in the next season, we're going to look back at this and say, this season was a prologue to the meat of the show, and I think we're going to look back on these 2 episodes and be like, you know what, I actually like that building up, But Nick, what'd you think?
So I don't disagree with that at all. I think part of my aggravation with the episode is twofold. One, I'm pissed that it's over for the amount of time that it's over for. So I'm just aggravated. I love the show, and it's like, when you get, 20 minutes of playtime when you're a kid, and then your mom takes your toys away at 19 minutes, 59 seconds. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just done until the next time it's playtime. That's all. And you're like, but I want to keep playing, And so that's the aggravation there. Obviously, it's not the same as the aggravation with, like, Rings of Power. I just didn't like Rings of Power, okay? So this one, I'm upset because I don't get more, right? But with regard to the way the show was done, I really felt like there's a lot of staring into a camera lens for ending these episodes. You had Rhaenys in the episode 9 at the end. She's like this on the back of a dragon. And then it's over. Fade to black. Mm-hmm. And then in the end of this one, you got Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra standing back of the...
Yeah, they do that a lot.
And then they fade out. So I almost felt like we got 2... That's why I said I felt like... similar to the episode where they did the battle with Damon was at war with the Crab King.
Yeah, that's the 3rd episode.
Episode 3.
Right. And they were going back and forth between the way the king was doing and they could have done this with 9 and 10 is what I'm saying. Because they were gone. Like we didn't see anything that was happening in I don't know, I felt like the king, if I'm 100% honest, I felt like the king's life kind of lasted a little longer than I had initially anticipated it would. I don't know if I like that as I'm digging deep here. You know what I mean? Like I'm really grasping at straws.
To me, episode 8, like his last episode, is probably the best episode of the season for me. I think it's not like they kept him too long and it didn't work.
Did we need it though? Did we need half a guy in the bed? Like he was in the bed the entire time with the 2 scenes and like, you know what I mean?
But
like,
that whole throne room scene, that...
No. I'm saying when he was like CG man, like where he was all like decrepit. The episode where he didn't get out of the bed at all was episode 9, right? Or
no, episode 8 is when he gets up out of the bed and he goes.
You're right. So, but even still though, and then episode 9 he's gone. See, this is my point. It feels like it was one episode. Episode 9 and 10.
It only takes place in like 3 days. Yeah,
a lot of setup, and no payoff. And that's the part that's very frustrating. And you sent me, when we were texting about this on Sunday, and you sent me a little GIF of the ending of The Sopranos, that last scene where he's eating the onion rings and it cuts to black. That's totally different in my opinion. This is not the same thing. We are expecting another season of this. We're expecting the stories to continue going on. That one was David Chase's way of kind of saying fuck off, like I'm done. You know what I mean?
I didn't even reference that for that reason.
Oh, that's really funny.
No. But what I need to ask you though is, what would you have liked to happen to leave the season off?
So I just feel like a better setup for. So okay, let's go through the episode a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
So we start off with the news coming to Dragonstone about the king's death. And then she goes into this very stress-induced, it seems, miscarriage.
Yep.
That was hard to watch.
It was really hard to watch. I thought she was going to die. And the reason I thought she was going to die was because of this knowledge that the first queen of King's Landing or whatever, the first queen of the Seven Kingdoms was Cersei. So I thought when she brought in her sons, and then the older one whose name escapes me.
Luke.
Okay, so it's Luke and...
Oh, no, the older one's Jace.
Jace. Yeah. When she says to Jace, who I think Jace is, like, amazing. When she says to Jace, like, listen, you're my heir. Whatever happens, like...
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I'm like, oh, she's dead. She's done. This is where she ends. And I thought that would have been... Okay, so be honest with you, right? Like, that would have been a crazy ending to season 1 of House of the Dragon. And then I wouldn't have complained about the rest of the episode. Because, like, you kill off your main character, basically. I would have been like, holy shit, you know? And it also would have made sense, because they haven't had a queen since until Cersei, right? And I'm not saying I wanted her to die, but it was kind of a weird moment. Like, you have a random miscarriage? Okay, whatever. It happens, but it was a weird moment. She asks her sons to go off to the different places to ask for support, right? And a couple things with this. We don't have a picture of him, but Corlys, I really like Corlys.
He's awesome. That might have been his best scene.
His presence was missed.
Yeah, 100%. But the thing that I like about him a lot is that he doesn't give a shit that Rhaenyra's a woman. He doesn't care about it. He was like, you want to play with the big boys? This is how it's done. You want to, like, you know what I mean? This is... I'm not treating you like a little girl anymore. This is how we're going to play the game, and I'll go with whatever you say to do. And I really appreciated that Rhaenyra was trying to, like, not induce war right away, and that she was trying to really gauge it. But it is kind of funny. You can only do that for so long, and they're going to force your hand.
Yeah.
Right.
She asked the two kids, though, to go off and find out who the helpers are, right? Or who supports her,
allies,
right? And we see one of them, but we don't see what happens with Jace. We see what happens with Luke, but we don't get a storyline of what... There's a lot of... For an ending of a season going into something as large as the war that's about to take place, we don't know what the hell happens with Jace. That's a problem to me. So to answer your question...
That might pick up next season.
To answer your question, I feel it will pick up next season.
But I know... I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's what... Like, I didn't leave this end of a season... As I didn't feel like I was closing a book. I feel like the last chapter got ripped out of the book, and I'm like, well, I guess when the author writes the next version, like, no, I want to go to Barnes & Noble. I'm going to buy the book. I'm going to read the last chapter. I feel like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, to have that many loose... We know what's coming next. There's a war coming next. So to have, like, to have these random-ass loose ends not tied up, it's really frustrating to me.
I get what you're saying, but I think... If I'm to guess, the only reason they didn't show it is because nothing of significance happens. And like they said, the Starks have never broken an oath. I'm sure that, you know, Jace is going to pull up to Winterfell and they're going to be like, yeah, we support you, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? But I do understand where you're coming from, where, like, you don't know, I guess, if the Starks are going to be allied. What other loose ends were you referencing, though?
So we saw, well, how does Jace react? What happens when Aegon goes home? Not Aegon, Aemond. What happens when Aemond goes home? How does this...
It is similar, I guess, if you want to look at season 1 of Thrones when Ned dies at the end of episode 9.
That's significant! I thought the whole story of Thrones was going to be about Ned Stark.
And then the end was... The last episode was the response to that.
Yeah.
So, but I do think we're subconsciously, while thinking about how Game of Thrones was structured, because I think this is definitely different.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
With Game of Thrones, I feel like there was a more, like... Because this is a, I don't know, it's like... Game of Thrones was, like, more of a mystery, like, story. Like, you really didn't know, like, what was going to... The mystique. Like, we kind of
This is all politics.
Yeah, this is more of a political, you know? And, I don't know. I guess there are loose ends, but, like... I don't know. I feel like with one episode left, there was, like, more stuff to tie up. And, I don't know. I guess I'd rather see it pushed off a season than, like, rushed.
Yes.
You know?
But think about Thrones, too, before you get into it, is think about how many characters in Thrones there were
more characters
that were in different locations, so many different stories.
There's a lot more going on.
Everyone is centralized in this show, and it's one story.
Yeah.
Versus Thrones, so I think there's so many different factors to it.
I'm just saying from a storytelling perspective. I'm not even talking about the books. I've never read the books, But, like, you have not a lot of people, like you just said. The story doesn't take place around a ton of people. It's like one family, only the upper echelon of this community, the top of the top, the cream of the crop, right?
Big hitters.
And it's about to get into a huge war. I would have rather, it would be easier on my mental palate, I'm saying, if you tie up all the loose ends, and then episode 1, season 2, you're in a war, right? Because now we know what's... But no. Now, what have they set us up for? Just turn the light on behind you. What have they set us up for now? They've set us up for a slow start to season 2. They've set us up to go into season 2 tying up loose ends from season 1. And they're going to do it because they're justifying it, saying it's a recap, guaranteed. They're going to say, here's where we left off. We want to bring the viewer back in, so we thought it would be a nice idea to bring everybody together and say, well, we left you off here, and this will be a great way to tie up these loose ends from season 1. I don't need that crap. What I need is to tie everything up, and I want to see heads getting chopped off. Season 2, episode 1, first scene. That's what I want to see.
Well, I think there is something to be said about episode 8 and 9, because 9 and 10, because those are the first 2 episodes where there was no significant time jump. So now all of a sudden you went from 1 through 7 having to jump and you hit all those big moments. But now we have to get used to the rest of the series being more like Game of Thrones, almost day by day. So it's a change, and you got to wonder now, are they going to struggle executing that now that they can't time jump? Oh, big event. I don't know. It could be connected to that, though. I think there's definitely a possibility.
I don't know.
I don't. But no, I definitely get your side of it. I mean, Sam, what did you think about this last scene? Were you left in a similar manner?
Well,
were any of you jumping up and down? I was not jumping up. I love the show. I'm not shitting on them. I'm going to watch everything that
I was pretty sad. The kid just got eaten.
But, like...
I was like, yo.
Yeah.
Were you, though? Because I was like, oh, here we go.
No, I thought he was going to... When he went up in the clouds, like when he averted the rain and like went up, I was like, oh, okay, maybe he made it out.
Yeah.
Then he just came in and clamped him. I'm like, oh, shit. That was a mean bite.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
and I think they kept the
started.
Thematic consistency with Rhaenys, Allison, and Rhaenyra not wanting to make the first move, and even Rhaenys.
No one on that side wanted to start the war.
Yeah,
and then so when he bit killed the dragon, I was like, well, now it's you have to respond. They just killed your son, and Aemon knew it. He goes, well, I just fucked up.
So this is kind of funny, right? They are all related. So that you have to understand too. Sorry, Sam. I know you wanted to say something. Go ahead. Go.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I don't want to say the evil, but that spark that Damon has, that fly off the handle, crazy, like slice the guy's head off. It's not a conversation.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra has that too.
Deep down, yeah, she does. Yeah, they kind of...
And she tries really hard to emulate her father, which is part of the reason I had so much respect and like admiration toward her father, because I feel like if I was ever king of a nation, I'd be off with their heads every day of my life. Yeah. So, just over like nothing. I'd be like, oh, you're not wearing the right color today. Off with his head. You know what I mean? Like that would be me. And so recognizing that and being able to express and exercise restraint when it comes to the way that, like, I mean, these people, there's no... Everything has to do with the king or the queen. Everything is like at their behest. Whatever they want, they get. You know what I mean? So it's crazy that with that much power, Viserys was able to be like, whoa. Back it up. Let's be fair here. Why should he give a shit? He is all powerful. He is the closest thing that they have to a god. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad that he exercised restraint. I'm admiring it, right? But when her son gets killed because of what Aemon does, you see that Daemon-style spark in her eye.
Yeah.
All bets are off. And I really am, as annoyed as I am with the last 2 episodes of this season, I'm beyond pumped for season 2. Beyond excited for season 2.
I mean, there is a little, I mean, for me, there is a little, I'm not totally secure in thinking like, oh, they're going to deliver on season 2 because I think there's two big factors.
I'm hopeful. That's all.
Yeah, I'm hopeful too. But I think what we just said is there's no more time jumps. They're gonna have to really buckle down and get to some character stuff here. And 2, Miguel Sapochnik is not going to be there. And if you watch these inside the episodes, he's talking a lot, and he clearly has insight. So I don't know. He might be a bigger loss than I think we anticipated before.
So you're not excited for season 2?
I am excited for season 2.
Then shut the fuck up.
And I like this finale more than you.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think you just like to be different.
You get very excited though. You were very excited for this show, which I'm glad about.
Yeah,
but I think
I'm so into it. I'm so into it. I just want, because I'm telling you that they've divided this series or this season into 3 seasons technically because of the time jumps, and every season there's something significant except in the last season, if that makes sense. You know?
Yeah.
Winter came. It didn't snow. You know what I mean?
Right. It's hard to finish off. I mean, Sam, what were you going to say earlier?
Well, I thought we were going to break down the episode.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
I mean, we kept fucking dragging on about how good or how fucking terrible the ending was. You know what I mean? Let's talk about the episode.
Yeah.
Let's break it down.
Can we talk about Damon for a minute, though, before we do it? What do you think of Damon?
My fucking God.
Well, I got to... Because he was my favorite character up until this episode. I think he was kind of a dick. More so to Rhaenyra, and I see a lot of people on Twitter and stuff complaining about their treatment of him because they cut out a scene with him like consoling his kids after their mother died. They cut out a scene of him like falling into the ocean after Rhaenyra's baby dies. I feel like they're trying to make him not sympathetic at all, which I don't know how I feel about that.
I think they're trying to play up that masculine rage, whatever it is, which I think is good. It ties in with Rhaenyra's balance of that stuff. Maybe we'll see a difference in season 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sam, break down the episode. What happens in scene 1?
Let's start after the miscarriage.
Yeah, after the miscarriage. Alien baby miscarriage.
Well, no, I like RJ or Nick. I like you guys starting, and then I chime in.
All right. What the funeral picks up right after the miscarriage. Dude, what a scene. What a great scene.
Dude, when Eric shows up with that crown... I almost lost it. It was one thing that they know how to do is really tug on the heartstrings. You know what it is? I just feel like I have the same morals as George R. Martin or whoever, whatever it is. Like the stuff that matters to me in my life, the respect of and the hierarchies of like just like family and tying things. And I'm like, thank you, God. Like it's just so much worse to me when there's infighting within the same family, and there's, it's.
And the music too, Money, Ramen.
Oh, it was great.
Coming in hot.
That was a really good scene, man. When they crowned her queen.
Yeah.
And Eric came in and like handed her. It meant that scene, like, I don't know. It felt a lot more genuine when she was crowned than when the kid Aegon was crowned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like more personal. It was like, all right. Like I kind of got like Robb Stark, like King in the North vibes. All right, like you're the one for us. It was like a smaller group. It's like, let's go get this shit. Yeah. And it was kind of her seeing like, all right, like I'm next up. Like it's my turn.
And it was powerful too, seeing the kids kneel and everything. Yeah. And Rhaenys doesn't kneel, obviously, but then you understand why later. Yeah. She basically needed Corlys's permission.
And I don't think that anybody was like annoyed by that either. Like if you watch when Corlys walks in with his daughters and the 2 girls stand next to their betrothed husbands, like it's so cool. It's so cool. Like the just without question, just the devotion and the support and like this is the way it is. And you do it and you're gonna work it out. I feel like there's a lot of like today in relationships, and Matt, I'm sure you'll agree. There's a lot of times where a small problem will happen, and people are like, well, we're done, we're breaking up, whatever it is. No one knows how to like...
I know someone who,
And no one knows how to like actually try and work on issues. Every couple, every friendship, every business partnership, everything, there's going to be some butting of heads.
Yeah, it's back and forth.
And
that's how it goes.
The way that you work through those problems is the way that you're able to like evolve as a human being. You know what I mean? You can't just give up. Well, I quit. I'm leaving my job. I'm done. I'm breaking up with you. I'm this and that. Like you have to be able to work through the tough times. And I think this show is a really great representation of that. Sam, what did you think about episode?
What about the coronation?
Scene 1. Yeah,
I gotta say, like Matt said, it was very genuine just to see like everyone coming together for like one cause. because, I mean, the family's a little bit fucked up. Like, you got incest with the uncle and the niece, getting together. So, I mean, it was nice to see, like, a little bit of a calming sense. Like, you're like, all right, everyone's in this together. Like, we're going to do this together. We're going to take on this evil that's in front of us. And we couldn't be stronger than ever. But like you guys were saying about Rhaenys in the background, just kind of standing there. At first, I was kind of taken back from it. I was just like, whoa, she's just kind of standing there. She's not really kneeling yet. But now, like, when you further watch the episode, obviously it's because she needed Corliss's permission.
Yeah.
But, like, just in the moment there, you're just like, because Rhaenyra is looking out at her, and she's like, are you going to, bend the knee, or are you going to just stand there and, like, question my authority? But in reality, I think Rhaenyra knew, like, deep down, she's like, all right, well, Corlys is the guy that I need, so.
Biggest fleet.
The sea snake.
You need the sea. And, I love what they've done with Rhaenys and Rhaenyra's relationship, even from, I don't know, it might have been episode 2 when she had that great line about her not getting the throne. Right. They've really done a good job. And although that ending of the episode before this was controversial with her not blowing fire on the Aegon and them, she did. I like how they referenced it at the start of this episode. She's like, I can't start this war.
It's not her war to start.
Right. Yeah. So I felt like they fixed that. But after this scene, we obviously get kind of the battle plans. I love a good battle plan scene.
When they're all standing at the table.
Oh, when they light the thing and they put the things on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like, dude, those scenes in Thrones always get me going. Just like they're all like plotting near the table.
It was kind of like
so
it was another like Rob call the Bannerman scene.
Dude, I was getting Rob vibes this episode, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
it was awesome.
Which that is episode 10 of Thrones when Rob is But I thought that was so good. You had the council there, and Damon just like rattling off. We got how many dragons? Cool. We got these soldiers.
Damon's ready to go. Yeah. Okay, I was like, hold on.
Another moment when it's always the small moments for me. It's the king losing his place when young Sansa there. What's her name there? Alicent. When she walks in, and he forgets his speech.
Yeah. That was
the other one when the guards tried to keep walking with Rhaenyra, and she goes, "Okay, you're good. Yeah, thanks. Good. I'm gonna go stand next to my husband."
Even the wine,
it's so good, dude. It's so good.
The moment where she's offered the wine and she hesitates because she thinks she's still pregnant and can't drink. It's all good stuff.
It's just great. It's really, really, really great. When he announces her when Damon announces her for the first time, chills, dude. Absolute chills.
Again, like Sam said, the announcements.
Good announcements. Eric had a good announcement when he was, with the crown.
He basically swore an oath.
I love Eric.
Yeah.
Which one?
I like the one with Rhaenyra.
I'm kidding, because they're twins.
I do like that dynamic, though.
It's fantastic. That's cool.
And the scene on the bridge.
Yes,
do you want to get into the bridge scene?
That was cool.
Let's do it. I want to hear Sam's thoughts on the bridge.
There were so many parallels in this episode, which I loved. The end of this episode, to me, felt like the end of the first episode when she looks into the camera. She's crowned.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I love a good parallel. But we get literally the same scene.
I know. I'm right there with you, Matt. Jesus.
What?
You're just a friggin'... Go ahead. I didn't say that. I'm bleeping that. Go ahead.
We get the same scene pretty much here between Otto and Damon. Mm-hmm. Great stuff. Rhaenyra comes in on the dragon. What'd you think of this one, Sam?
So I thought this was a great scene. A lot of great shots, like aerial shots. Like you can see all the different angles. And then it kind of comes in and you see that you got Otto's army and like Team Green versus I think it's Team Black or Team Red.
Yep, the Blacks.
And it's just, like, phenomenal. You know what's coming.
Go. I'm sorry. It's RJ, not you. Go.
So it's just phenomenal. You know what I mean? You got the two sides. You know they're probably not going to work this out.
Probably not.
In that moment, Rhaenyra's really like, okay, I don't want to go to war. Mm-hmm. I don't want everyone fucking just going at it with each other. I want to try to find peace. There's got to be at least a way. And so she's actually like really thinking about Otto's offer in that scene. So that's where I was just like, wow, like this may happen. But obviously deep down I was like, no, there's no fucking way it's going to work out.
They made an effort to show her comparison to Viserys in terms of like wanting peace and kind of being like the noble one.
She is her father.
Yeah, no, the good.
Think
parts.
about the beginning of. But it's literally history repeating itself throughout the different monarchies. Like, look at her father lost the son and the wife at the same time, which was another reason I thought Rhaenyra was going to die and that Damon would finally be able to take over. But he wouldn't have, apparently, because Jace would have taken over because Rhaenyra said that he was the heir. I don't know. I don't know how it would have gone, but, like, a lot of, again, a parallel to Viserys's, losing the baby and his wife and everything in, like, the first episode, right?
Yeah. And her mom literally saying to her, like, childbirth is like war, and now she's gone through it.
And, now she has to go to actual war. Dude.
Well, I connected to that is, like, again, another parallel is, like, Damon, obviously it was kind of a shitty move that he wasn't there comforting her, but when he walks in and he sees it, I think he
has a flashback to
doesn't want to be in the same position where, like, I gotta kill my wife or keep this baby type of thing. And
he also already just had to go through it 2 episodes ago when his wife lit herself on fire.
So it's just I mean, it's tough, and those are the layers of Damon that I like.
I loved when he was going over the different amounts of army and dragons and all stuff they have, and you can hear her screaming.
Yeah, it was like an ambient.
Literally in, like, the next room.
It was like, do you want to get the Meister? He looks like a guy like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's quick to it. He wants this war.
If you've ever dealt with, I deal with this with my little cousins all the time because they're at a weird age where they're like late teens and they think that they like know everything about the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the scene where Jace walks in after talking to his mother and tries to tell Damon how it's gonna be, and he's like, "Why don't you take a walk with me? Why don't you just take a walk with me?" Like, it's just so good because I remember when I was 17, like I used to think I owned the world and I knew everything about everything, and I knew nothing. I knew less than nothing. I knew reverse. It was bad, and it's just, I don't know. The whole show is fantastic.
I mean, circling back to the bridge scene. Did any of you? I thought, in terms of like shocking moments that might have been it for Otto. I thought he might not be leaving there.
Yeah,
but
this is what I mean about the blue balls, though, because in the beginning of the season they had a lot of moments that shocked us, and so they set us up for like this big shocking ending.
But again, like that is a result of the no time jumps, because they could just skip to those moments.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's different, and I think we're gonna have to get used to it now. But
sure, I still think it's really good. I just wish that there was a more impactful moment given the structure of the season, and I wish that they had started off a season without time jumps and then and then gone from there.
I mean, I guess the death of Luke,
I really like
really
that kid
hits
too.
more than.
I'm also bummed out. I said back a few episodes ago, Matt, you remember I said the thing about the king, and I was like, what a great actor, and like imagine having 5 episodes and like as a career, what a great way to like have a short performance, and they ended up keeping him on for 2 more episodes, but Luke didn't have much of a shot in my opinion. It's because of the time jumps and everything. They kind of screwed that guy.
I mean, I knew he was dead from the beginning of this episode because it literally just opens on him, and it's like we've never like focused this much on him throughout the whole episode. So you kind of knew when he was going there, it was
goodbye
no good.
With Rhaenyra.
Yeah, let's talk about that scene. So Luke gets sent off to go with Boros Baratheon.
Yeah, I want to hear Matt's opinion on the Baratheon guy.
Nick Offerman.
He's kind of a dick.
He was. I mean, the Baratheons.
But Rob Baratheon's kind of a dick too.
Yeah, but he's funny. He's.
Well, I mean, if I'm Rhaenyra,
because he was the king. That's why.
Them,
If I'm Rhaenyra, though, I mean, you got to go there with some kind of incentive.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. He went there.
She should have prepared
just because you got Targaryen blood, because the Baratheons do have some Targaryen blood.
You also have to expect another. One of the high towers to be there.
Yeah,
yeah. She should have prepared him better.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I saw the other dragon, I saw he's fucked. Like it was bad vibes. It was raining. It was dark. Yep. It was eerie vibes.
Great castle.
He's constantly looking over his shoulder.
Castle.
You knew, like, she's like, oh yeah, they're gonna greet you. They're gonna love you. He walks in and it's like an empty hall. It's just him. Like you knew he was fucked.
Yeah.
All the signs were pointing.
Fucked.
I mean, I did really like the way the Baratheon guy was like, okay, we're not doing this
not
inside
in
my house.
Yeah.
Get out. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I like that he instructed the guards to like guard the kid back to the dragon. Just go, deal with this crap on your own, but also don't come in here empty-handed. But I'm not going to have you die right on the floor in front of me. Like, are you crazy? I don't need the dragons coming after my house next, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the whole atmosphere of that scene was, I mean, Storm's End, that was the first time we've seen it.
Stormy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great name, Storm's End, with the lightning.
Shit,
it was just a good scene. Damon reveals his he's got the sapphire eye. That was a cool look.
I can't stand him.
I can't tell if he's a pansy, or if he's just an asshole, or like
he's just so insecure.
He's so insecure.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
he's like the kid who like tries to be tough, but like he's really a pussy. You know what I mean? Because he's like so insecure.
So what?
Vhagar, listen to me. Listen to me. No, Vhagar,
I was traumatized as a child, so I'm gonna try and do the same shit.
Yeah,
he's a bully, dude. He's just a bully.
Sam, what'd you think of? Because they've been making a big deal of this in the show. Dany says it in Thrones that dragons aren't slaves, and Viserys says you're a fool to think you can control them. Now, in the book, I guess Aemond kills him intentionally, but they switch that in the show, and it's an accident. Personally, I like that change. I think it's cooler, and I think it's more in line with the show. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, so going back to what you just said about Viserys, talking about the dragons, so like I wrote this down.
Okay.
It's giving off the illusion to others that they control the dragons, but in reality they control us.
Yeah.
And this is in reference to that fight that we see at the end. So Luke's dragon is actually the one that goes off the rails first.
Yeah.
Little sneak attack, kind of just gives a little fire blast to the fucking nose, I think it was, of Vhagar. And Vhagar did not take that lightly. Vhagar was just like, you know what? Fuck this. This fucking 100-pound soaking wet kid's not going to do shit.
It's breakfast.
I'm coming for blood. And that's exactly what happened. He had a little dragon fillet.
Go ahead. Yep.
Little dragon fillet. And see you later, Luke.
Yeah.
Nice knowing you.
I'll tell you that shot when he's the dragon's under the dragon, and all of a sudden you see the shat. They've done an amazing job making the dragons like scary as shit.
Yeah, no,
very
good job.
Yeah, but Vhagar, you don't realize how much bigger Vhagar is than those baby dragons there.
They did a good job of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same effect as like the very first Jurassic Park, where they only showed the T-Rex in rain at night.
Yeah.
With certain little spotlights and everything. But it was made before like Toy Story, so like they had no CG capabilities whatsoever. If you had seen that thing all lit up, it would have been like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they made it look real because of the lack of light and everything. So it's like having the dragons there without having the dragons there is very, very cool to me.
But what did you guys think of them changing that aspect from the book about Aemond not doing it on purpose?
Oh, I think it's incredible.
I think it is, because if you're Aemond in that moment, why the hell would you kill him intentionally? You're starting the war.
And he says, that's what you were saying about the dragons being like controlling their riders. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good change.
Yeah, no, solid.
Yeah, and I like how he's kind of just fucking with him. He's trying to scare him.
That's the whole
what did he think was going to happen?
Right, yeah.
I mean,
Well, okay, but this happens in real life too, not on Dragonback, obviously, but people try and fuck with other people all the time, and then something happens and goes wrong.
Yeah.
And people die.
Yeah,
I mean, like, there's some really, you can't do that to people, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. He was just trying to scare him. Like, that's what he's thinking deep down. But then as soon as Luke's dragon, fucking does the first blow.
Yeah.
That's
they become wild animals.
See you later.
Yeah.
He has no control of the situation, and then he's going to pay for what happened.
Yeah. I mean, to me, a great moment.
We didn't talk about Damon singing his song and
waking
up that
I
other one.
think the dragon's called Verathamor or something. It's the second biggest dragon behind Vhagar. And so I think he said there were 3 dragons who don't have a rider. 2 of them are on Dragonstone. So, I mean, now we're going to have like 16, 13, I forget what the number was, dragons just going at it.
Right.
It's going to be fun. I mean, that was a cool scene, though. Got a good singing voice.
I wish we saw more of it, but yeah, no, I liked the singing in High Valyrian or whatever it was.
What the hell would you have liked to see more in that scene?
Oh, I would have liked to see the dragon and what happens with the dragon. What is wrong with you today? You are in rare form today. Listen, it's a great show. I'm very excited for season 2. I don't even care if it's slow. I just hope that I hope that we get enough out of it. That's all.
But it is ridiculous, though, when you think about it. If you're HBO, you didn't think this show was going to blow up. I mean, this last episode had the same ratings as the finale of Game of Thrones. So, like, you didn't know that. Like, you should have been shooting this while this was premiering.
Well, I don't know. The public perception, like, going into the season was really, like, it was like everyone had such a bad taste in their mouth.
Right.
So, like, if this came out and then the first, like, 2 or 3 episodes, everyone hated it.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I think it's part of the risk, though,
Oh, yeah,
what's your reaction? You're the HBO exec that says when they can start with season 2. It's the morning after it's the Monday morning after the premiere of this show. What's your reaction? I want to hear that. What would you be saying to yourself? You'd be like,
I'd be like, all right, season 2, let's go.
Yeah. That's what I
literally I'd be like, all right, let's go. Start tomorrow.
I think it's set to start in March.
That's
filming in March. They said it could be a little earlier, but still, I mean, let's say it starts in January.
Yeah.
You're lucky to get this in like April 2024, but I think it's going to be again like in August 2024.
Well, and this goes back to why I'm not such a fan of all the CG elements of everything these days. Like they do a lot of on-location stuff, but especially when it comes to the dragons and everything else, like you can't just shoot this stuff. You got to write it, you got to shoot it, and then you got to wait 6, 8, 10, 12 months. Not saying that the CG is bad, but it's a problem.
I mean, it is, but Game of Thrones for the first 6 seasons came out back to back to back to back. So it's doable. I just don't think they went right into it, after filming this, which it looks like they probably should have done. But obviously we don't want it to be rushed either. But I mean, yeah. Any other final thoughts on this? I mean, the question of the day here is connected if we want to get into it. So obviously it's been in our heads, I think. But to me, the last 2 episodes of this season, up until 8, I was like, there's a chance if they finish off strong, this could be better than season 1 of Thrones. But I think these last 2 episodes do not match up to Thrones.
Frankly, I don't think it's close.
Really?
I don't think it's close. I think Game of Thrones is far. I mean, this was a good season of television, but I don't think I think Game of Thrones is so fucking good. I mean, that first season of Thrones, I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Did Ned Stark getting his head chopped off?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Bran falling out the tower, like all the shit with Tyrion. There is perfect season.
I was just saying, to me, if you look at 1 through 8 of this and 1 through 8 of Thrones, I think they're pretty on par. What do you think, Sam?
I don't agree with that take, RJ.
Okay. I agree with Sam.
I mean, Game of Thrones is arguably the best show ever created that ever came out for us to watch.
I disagree too.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about your opinion, all right?
I agree, Sam, I agree with you.
Can I just fucking talk?
I agree with you, Sam.
All right, so Game of Thrones, compared to House of the Dragon, kind of kept you on your toes a little bit and threw you for a fucking curveball in episode 9. Like Matt said, Ned Stark, the main focal point of the season. See you later.
I mean,
now what? What are you gonna do? Like, what is the last episode gonna be? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're fucking sitting there and you're like, what the fuck? The main character is gone. What are we gonna do? And then to see how it went off from there. I literally just said this. Did I not just say that 9 and 10 is what pushed it over the edge? I don't think you can match 9 and 10 of the first season. But I think
they could have.
Do you agree, though, Nick?
No,
the first 8 episodes of this is it's good shit.
I even liked the last 2 episodes that
I do. I do too.
I don't know. I really, Game of Thrones is very, because I feel like this is so much earlier in the. I feel like in like 20 years' time, if a kid was to go and watch this and then Game of Thrones, I don't think they could have watched it the other way around. Like, we have to watch it. Game of Thrones came out first, and then this is a prequel. But I think that their shows are so on par with each other with the quality of the writing and the quality of the story. I think that if your son, grandson, whatever, granddaughter, whatever, watched House of the Dragon and then watched all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones, I don't think they could unwatch that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I think it's connected to like everyone with their phones now and wanting the binge method. I feel like House of the Dragon is way more faster paced.
If you told your kid someday, but Game of Thrones came out first and then we watched House, they'd be like, what? That doesn't even make any sense.
It's like my parents telling me, episodes 4 through 6 came out before 1 through 3.
That's true. That's true.
But I'm saying, though, is season 1 of Thrones is so much more methodical than this. I could see kids down the line being like bored versus this gets right into it. You know what I'm saying?
See,
I don't think
that
it's a good
I
or
disagree
bad
with.
thing.
That's funny that you say that because I would disagree with that. I think Thrones is more action based, and this is way more political based because there's a lack of stuff that happens, but there's so much stuff that happens, like between the Viserys.
But I think each episode of this first season had like a wow moment.
Yeah, personally,
you know
I like this show a little bit more than Game of Thrones, but maybe that's just because it's new and I've seen all of Game of Thrones. I don't know. I mean, I like
the
new
first
and
season
exciting.
of Thrones.
Oh, sure.
It's probably my second favorite season of that show.
No, it's really good. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So so what did we say? Which one was better?
I mean, I agree. It's Game of Thrones.
Okay, I'm gonna be the odd one out. House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. I mean, I don't think it's crazy. I've seen a lot of people saying that, but yeah. Any final thoughts on this this season? It was a fun ride, fun 10 weeks.
Dude, it was good. I mean, it's rare nowadays we get appointment television.
Yep.
Because you're right, everything drops on Netflix. You get the whole season, you binge it in 3 days, and then it's over. It's cool that this lasted for 2 months in pop culture. All of us talking about it. Everyone, you go to work on Monday morning. Oh, you see the app, and you don't get that a lot. Nowadays. So that was cool.
HBO's the master of that. They're the master of that. HBO. They did the Sopranos and everything.
So it's cool to kind of have that back. So yeah, I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Just gonna say, it's got to be worth it. Season 2 has to be worth it.
They do have to deliver.
It's gonna take this long, because there is an empty void that we got to fill on Sunday night.
Talk about a round.
Hey, Succession. Succession coming back.
When is that coming back?
Spring. You didn't see the trailer before this episode?
Not yet, but I will. I always click the skip. I want to get into it. Fuck the recaps and all that other shit. You know what I mean? Succession. That'll be a great one for us to review. I love that show.
So good.
Very good.
But yeah, so next week we're gonna have to fill in the blank here. We will talk about Andor next week. We were going to talk about it this week, but too many topics. But Andor's been very good. So guys, come back next week. We'll have some new topics. We'll probably review All Quiet on the Western Front.
Definitely.
We'll talk about that, and stay tuned. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Which season did you like better, guys? Thrones or House of the Dragon? We'll see you next week. How you doing?